man named Dustin may not be facing an ordinary haunting, but something much darker. This presence does not just watch him from a distance. It studies his every move, learns who he is, and then begins to copy him. Some believe it could be a demonic attachment. Others think it may be a mimic, a mysterious entity that can take the form of the living. Even so, there are still people who say it is all fake. But one night, while Dustin is at work, something happens that makes the whole case feel even darker and much harder to deny.
Let me have it.
This is not the first time Dustin claims he has seen something that looks exactly like him. But what makes this story even more disturbing is the pattern behind it. These sightings do not seem random at all. They move in ways that do not match him. Reflections shift in the opposite direction, reactions happen on their own, as if whatever is copying him no longer needs him there. That is the moment it stops feeling creepy and starts becoming truly terrifying. Because a ghost is one thing, but something that wears your face and moves when it should not is something far worse. So, what do you think this really is? A mimic, a demon, something even worse? Or is it all fake? You decide. A man believed he had finally found the apartment he had been looking for. It was quiet, cheap, and seemed like the start of a new life, but not long after moving in, that peaceful feeling began to fade. Strange sounds slowly filled the rooms, especially at night. He heard footsteps walking through empty spaces. Soft whispers came from places he could not see. Heavy bangs echoed from corners that should have been empty. At first, he tried to stay calm and thought it was just normal building noise. But the disturbances never stopped. They only became more frequent and more intense. Before long, he became convinced that something else was living there with him. To prove he was not losing his mind, he recorded every moment on his phone. But one night, while filming for social media, everything turned into a terror far worse than he had imagined.
bin mir in Schock. Bin mir in Schock. Bin mir in Schock. Da coisa eu.
As another sound echoed through the apartment, he slowly walked down the dark hallway toward it. The lights were dim and the air felt heavy. Then, without anyone touching it, a drawer suddenly slid open by itself. The harsh scraping sound broke the silence. Panic took over. He ran out without looking back and without thinking. But once he stood across the street, he forced himself to look up at his window. That was the moment his fear became real. A dark figure stood perfectly still behind the glass. It did not move. It did not react. It simply stood there, watching. Hours later, with nowhere else to go, he had no choice but to return to the apartment, knowing that whatever he saw was likely still inside, waiting. These clips feel less like proof and more like a dark warning. Sometimes moving into a new home does not mean starting a new life. Sometimes it means stepping into a place where something was already there first. The figure behind the window did not seem like a lost spirit. It felt aware, intelligent, and almost like it was protecting its own territory. As if the apartment belonged to it, not to the man. It was not just haunting the place. It was guarding it from anyone who entered. And that leaves one disturbing question. If something in your home did not want you there, how long could you survive living with it? This disturbing footage was recorded by a group of construction workers in Indonesia during a night that should have been quiet. They were renovating a large multi-story building and planned to rest before continuing work the next morning. Most of the crew had already fallen asleep after a long, exhausting day, but one worker was still awake. He could not shake the feeling that something was wrong. From the upper floors, he started hearing soft knocking sounds coming from one of the windows. The tapping kept repeating, slow and deliberate, as if something wanted to be noticed. After listening for several minutes, he finally grabbed a flashlight and decided to check where the sound was coming from. When he pointed his light at the window, he saw something that made his blood turn cold. Behind the glass was a faint, translucent shape. It looked like the head of a person hovering just outside the window. What made it terrifying was the location. The window was several floors up with no balcony, no platform, and nowhere to stand. Below it was only a steep drop into darkness. There was no possible way a person could be there. In that moment, the knocking suddenly made sense in the worst way. So what was tapping on the glass that night? A ghost trapped near the building. Something supernatural drawn to the place. Or something far darker that did not want to be seen. Jorge finally brings his daughter back home after keeping her away for months because of the terrifying things that had happened inside the house. For a moment, everything feels calm, almost too calm. He starts to believe that whatever was there is finally gone, like the nightmare is over. But that silence does not last long. One night, while spending time with his daughter, a security camera captures something deeply unsettling. After that, the feeling inside the house turns dark once again.
Yo, 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 yo. Hi. Yo. Wow. Yo. Ay, Dios mío. Y esa mamita, esa mamita. Ah, mami. Mami? Where you see mommy at? Where you pointing over there? There's no mommy. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm mommy.
Amorita, you creeping me out. Don't do that, girl. Huh? Oh, you. Hey. Who is that? Amora, stop playing. What are you doing? What is what? Jesus Lord, what are you stabbing over there? I get you down. Stop playing with me, girl. Don't play around.
Right beneath the cross, shadows begin to move slowly, not in a random way, but back and forth like something is pacing just out of sight. Then, without any warning, the cross turns upside down. That alone is enough to shake anyone. But what makes it worse is what his daughter has been saying since she came back. She keeps saying someone else is in the room. The way she stares into empty corners, the way her eyes follow something no one else can see. It no longer feels like imagination. It starts to feel like awareness. Many people believe children that age are more sensitive to things adults ignore or cannot notice. In a case like this, that thought is hard to dismiss. Not wanting to take any risk, H takes her away from the house again. But one day while he's out, he gets a motion alert from the security system. When he checks the footage, this is what he sees. No one is home. Yet something is clearly moving inside. At one moment, a dark shadow slowly passes through the room. But what truly disturbs him is not only what he sees, it is what he hears. A faint cry, soft and cold. From that moment, everything changes. This is no longer just about shadows, strange movement, or activity caught on camera. Now it feels like something is truly there, something aware, something that does not just stay in the house, but knows its presence is being noticed. And when it seems like things cannot get worse, it follows him. Even to work, H starts noticing strange things again. Small at first, then slowly impossible to ignore. And this is where cases like this turn even darker. Because when something is not tied to a place but to a person, it does not stay behind. It follows. It attaches. In many paranormal stories, that is how it starts. Through acknowledgement, interaction, repeated encounters, or a bond that was never fully broken. Once that line is crossed, distance means nothing. Jorge is now starting to wonder if this was ever really about the house, or if something had attached itself to him long before he understood what was happening. One strange event might be coincidence, but when it keeps happening in different places, under different circumstances, it begins to feel far more sinister. For now, whatever surrounds H remains a mystery. But it may no longer be waiting for him at home. It may already be with him everywhere he goes. An urban explorer decided to enter the abandoned old Idaho penitentiary, a place known for its brutal history and endless paranormal stories. For years, visitors have reported sudden cold spots, soft whispers in empty hallways, and dark shadow figures that vanish the moment you look at them. Many believe the pain and suffering of former inmates left something behind. An unseen presence still tied to the prison walls. When the exploration team went inside, they expected only silence, darkness, and the sounds of an aging building. But their camera captured something far more disturbing. Watch closely.
Holy
Can you move again? Can you hear us?
Dude. Alex, seriously.
We're coming towards you.
Hello?
What the Dude, somebody's screaming.
woman! The woman! Dude, shut up!
Suddenly, loud screams shattered the silence of the prison halls. These were not creaking floors or wind through broken walls. The sounds were sharp, emotional, and clearly human, filled with fear and pain. The moment they heard it, the group did not wait. They ran and chose to get out as fast as possible. What makes it even more terrifying is that many other visitors claim to hear the same screams in the same area. Some believe the building holds echoes of past suffering that keep repeating. Others believe the ghosts of former inmates still wander through the dark cell blocks. Whatever the truth is, this footage has made many people believe of one thing. This prison is not just haunted. It feels like the pain of the past is still breathing inside its walls. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video until the end. If you enjoyed content like this, please support this channel by subscribing, turning on the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos, and sharing it with your friends. See you in the next video.